What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Intentional Grounding. I am your host, Sterls for the girls, and you'll be kicking it with me tonight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm excited to see all y'all, man. I'm not gonna lie. You know, if I don't get to talk to the peeps every week, man, I get a little homesick. So it's definitely good to be here in the saddle tonight. We are 1 week away from the NFL draft. 1 week away. And tonight's show, we're going to be talking some Bills. We're going to be talking some Dallas Cowboys. I got one of my homies coming on the show tonight. It's going to be dope. We're going to talk some draft. We're going to do our live mock as we do. But we're going to get it in. So, wherever you're listening tonight, via live here on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, this show is brought to you none other than Slide a Shelf. We're going to help you reach what matters. If you have any kind of home improvement project that involves shelving, if you put in the code Intentional Grounding, when you order, you will get 20% off. So make sure you go see our guys at Slide a Shelf, and they will get you squared away. Well, folks, like I said, it's 1 week until the NFL draft, and I tell you what, man, I'm going back and forth on the Bills selection. You know, I feel like it's cheating to say that the Bills are going to draft Jack Campbell. I think it's cheating. I mean, that's the biggest hole on this roster right now, right? The biggest hole. And every night, every day, it feels like I'm picking somebody else where I see a fit that seems a lot more enticing than getting a middle linebacker. Not gonna lie. We got Richard Rush in here. Sarah, what's up? What's up? All right, so before we get into everything, I want to let y'all know, like I said, my homie he's in the house. My guy. I'm gonna bring him in, but before I bring him in, I just want to let y'all know that he is a new content creator, okay? And he hasn't had a taste of Bills Mafia just yet, so he's gonna get his first taste of Bills Mafia tonight. None other than my guy, Sports Plug Russ is in the house. What's up, dude?
Man, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? Thanks for having me on, man. I'm about to get maffatized, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So, but hey, yo, Bills Mafia. So y'all in the AFC, I ain't got no beat.
See,
know what I'm saying?
Before he says anything else, okay, to let y'all know, he is a Dallas Cowboys fan. Okay, my man rocks with the Cowboys. You know, call that a problem or an issue if you want, but that's what he likes, man. So, you know, Russ is a part of another podcast that I'm a part of, called Sports Sushi.
Yes,
it's on every week, and I'll let you plug Sports Sushi toward the end of the show, Russ.
With warnings.
Yeah. Hey, so let's talk about Jalen Hurts got the bag today,
bro.
Jalen Hurts got a massive contract, making him the highest paid NFL quarterback or NFL player in the history of the game. He is going to get about 179 guaranteed is what the numbers say. It's going to be $255 million contract. I mean, that's a lot.
No, it's well deserved. I think me hearing it today, I heard a lot of. I'm happy for him, by the way. As a Dallas Cowboy fan, this is kind of. I mean, it's rough, but we have a pretty good. You know, we'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? But as far as he's concerned, the Eagles did the smart thing, because if you can imagine, if they wait at all, they're going to be in the same position Ravens are right now, and they're going to have to pay him even more, because if he wasn't to get signed early when he was up, it would have been way high.
Yeah, no, that contract
probably too high, as we've seen.
It would have been high, but you know, it's I mean, I don't know. You shouldn't be excited about that. Seeing that he's in.
I'm excited for him. I mean, my college football team is Oklahoma, so I'm always gonna root, for a Sooner. Even if I only won there 1 year, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna root for. But I like Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? He's from Texas. Like, even though the Eagles, whatever about them, but like I like him. I like him, and I like his story. You know what I'm saying? So like perseverance personified.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can actually claim Jalen Hurts since he only played 1 year at Oklahoma, but I'll let you do it
We
because
will.
like it's like me claiming Olusegun Oluwatimi from Michigan. So it's
we're
I'm
where
go ahead.
we're where he learned how to play quarterback.
Alabama.
No. We're where he learned how to play like the quarterback position under Lincoln Riley, the guru who left us, which is okay.
Hey,
But this isn't a college football show.
Jalen Hurts wasn't bad at Alabama.
No, he wasn't bad. I'm just saying you could clearly see the difference from him when he played under a coach and Nick Saban, who's just like, I recruited you to do your job, just do it. And then another coach who's like, I'm gonna help you work on the positions. Lincoln Riley took him in and was like, what kind of throws do you like? What kind of throws do you not like? And he was able to, diagram the plays on how he wanted to run them. And Lincoln was able to, teach him some things and set him up for success. And then when he got to the NFL, you could see that even though he got good at reads and progressions from basically having a playbook tailored to him, he was able to take that and use the teachings and, catapult himself into where he is now. I really do think even if he would have went to USC, I think that Lincoln Riley just does that for quarterbacks. I think that
For
he's just
sure.
really good at coaching them and showing them how to play the position. And then with that, you just do what you can. But his work ethic is his. I'm not saying Lincoln Riley made the kid at all.
Right,
I'm
right,
saying the
right.
work ethic is his. You could just see a clear difference in how he played the position from Alabama to Oklahoma.
No, I'm happy for him. Like I still think I still think he's a little inflated. Like when people say that he's better than Josh Allen, I take offense to that.
You
Because he's
should.
not. Because he's not, but he's really good. So the thing is though, seeing that he's in your division, you guys still have Dak Prescott, and we've talked ad nauseum about Dak and what we really think about him. Seeing that the Eagles got him in the second round, and really, I mean, nobody really thought that he would even get drafted in on day two, even. So, I
True.
mean, it's a really cool story, man. I mean, and they got a lot of weapons around him, and Harry Roseman is one of the best
That's
GMs in the
that's
league, right?
that's one thing I did kind of want to. I would say I would ask you if you agree, because I hear a lot of people saying like Lamar, you should just agree to this and take this contract. And I was talking actually I was talking to my pops today, and I was like, I bet Lamar looks at this and says he went to the Super Bowl, but he had a receiver that won the Heisman in college, like. Not receiver of the year, not Doak Campbell or whatever. He won the Heisman, best player ever.
Right,
And then I got
right.
AJ Brown, and he got AJ Brown. So I don't think that's comparable. You know what I'm saying, for what they're asked to do for the team. But I do think that Jalen Hurts deserves every penny of that. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, especially if we're gonna talk about what they might do in the draft. But if they do what I think they're gonna do, it's gonna be real tough. Miles
Yeah,
Sanders didn't
it's
go for nothing.
right. So let's before we talk about any Cowboys stuff, let's I'm gonna glaze over some Bills news. The Bills signed AJ Klein, linebacker. He's been around for a while. We all know who AJ Klein is. And they signed an offensive lineman. I don't even know dude's name, to be honest.
They
Uh,
just making pre-draft moves.
these are just moves to make moves to, I don't think they're filling any necessary holes. AJ Klein is a good depth piece, right? But you don't want AJ Klein starting on your defense. And as we get closer to the draft, I don't know about you Cowboys fans, but here, with the Bills, we analyze every little move, every little visit, and kind of figure out what they're trying to put together. If they're giving us any clues as to what they're thinking heading into the draft. So the Bills made two signings. They really don't move the needle for me at all.
Yeah.
It still is what it is. But what are the Cowboys doing right now?
I
What is
used
the
to
temperature in the room?
I used to try to see every move that they made until I realized after a couple of years that never really mattered. You know what I'm saying? According to what they're gonna pick. But now, as far as the rumblings go, like you do hear a lot of draft pick talk. You know what I'm saying? Who they're going to pick. I've seen DBs. I've seen, of course, we all know the tight ends, which I think it's going to be one of the tight ends. I've even seen an O lineman. I forget his name. He's from Tennessee. I've even seen him thrown in there. I've seen them go for an edge rush, the edge rusher out of uh, Iowa. I forget it's something the fifth. I forget his name. But me personally, with everything I'm hearing, I do think that they want Michael Mayer. Mayer,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
kid from Mayer, and we covered him. You know what I'm saying on the sushi. So, but I think that they will pick him if he's available. But part of me is sitting here like I understand. I want them to pick a tight end. Let me get that
So
straight.
you want
Straightforward.
tight end round one. That's what you want.
Yes. Here's the reason why. And you've heard me yell this before about the Cowboys is that like we always do the opposite a lot of times, not always. A lot of times we have to perform better. We have the talent, but the problem is we don't put the right pieces in place for what's directly in front of us. Like you see that Dak needs help and we get rid of receivers. You see that he loves to run the three tight end groupings and he loves to throw the tight ends. So go get him one that's supposed to be a superstar. Go get him one that you think is gonna be a Pro Bowler or All Pro even. You know what I'm saying? And I think that I think that three guys have the ability, maybe four. South Dakota kid's pretty nice, but I think that three or four of these guys do have that ability. But if you get to it and there's Michael Mayer and Darnell Washington available, get Dak a weapon in the position that he likes to throw to most. Yes, he throws the receivers, he has all these yards, but if you watch Cowboys games, you often notice that he throws a lot to tight ends, a whole lot. So common sense, which we don't have in Dallas, and those that don't know me, you will realize I am an honest Dallas Cowboys fans. I don't live in this fairy tale we going all the way this year place. Um, I live in reality, and the reality is we need to put a tight end. I put it to people like this: we need a guy like a Gronk in a situation where you can just throw it up and he can catch it. And I think Washington and I think that Meyer are the two guys. Kincaid, I like him a lot. I think those guys, but really the first two, I do think that they're the guys that you can literally. I know you remember, not to poo poo on you, but I know you remember at times they would just get to like third and goal and just say, "This fade's going to 87." There's nothing you can do about it. He's gonna catch it, and I think Darnell Washington is that guy. But that's my opinion. But I wouldn't
So
mind Michael. I wouldn't mind Michael at all because I've seen him play
so
and he's nice.
okay, so let's talk about Darnell Washington because he's a guy that you know, I'm almost tempted to mock him to the Bills. Uh and the fact that you're talking about him for the Cowboys, you guys pick, I think, 25th, if I'm not mistaken.
26. We got
20. So you're right
26.
before us. So
Yes.
it's pretty interesting that you bring that up because it seems like from people that I know, it seems like he's getting a little buzz in the first round, late first round.
Okay.
So I'm not saying the Bills are going to take him or whatever, but just draft guys that I know that is saying he might be getting some play in the first round. So Darnell Washington, man, he's a 6'7" tight end out of University of
No,
Georgia. Soft hands. He's got soft hands. He's athletic. His calling card is his ability to block, right? And so when I look at
that's why I love him.
right, so I think he's a better fit for Buffalo than he is for the Cowboys, just because like you guys have a really solid offensive line. I feel like the Cowboys with Dalton Schultz last year, he was more of a pass catching tight end. I would say someone like Dalton Kincaid would be perfect for the offense that you guys run. I would even throw in the Sam Laporta for the Cowboys at that.
I was saying, but that's why I like Washington and I like Meyer. I like them for that reason that they can both block. And even though the Cowboys have a solid offensive line, it can get better. You know what I'm saying? We watch the games. Like things happen that you don't like to happen on that line. So I'd even like to see them maybe go for a guy like Tippin in the second round. But like I think that if you get one of these two guys that are good at blocking, and I love the fact that Washington was a blocker at Georgia. He was used a lot for blocker, but like you said, we know he has soft hands, and he strikes me as just one of those guys that wasn't asked to do a whole lot in college, but when he gets to the league, he is going to like just blossom like the most beautiful football flower you have ever seen in your life. Yes, Sarah, I don't know you, but the
Hey,
heart all
Sarah,
the
let me
way.
tell you,
Sarah, yes.
Sarah's my
Washington is
girl.
love. Love is
Listen, dude,
Washington.
she is like a walking almanac. Like anything, I mean, if you need any information, if you need a contract, so she works for the network. You need a
Okay.
contract, you need anything. Like she's on it. Like she's sharp. That's the girl right there.
Sarah,
So
I like you already.
she's like 26. Like
Yep. Because I really do need that sometimes. I'll be like, what's this guy?
Yeah.
Here's a question I have for you though. Out of the random, out of the blue, because I got to hit you at one out of nowhere. Okay, because you know me, my biggest problem with the Bills, and I said this last year because I wanted y'all to trade everything for a Saquon Barkley, and now I think that I think y'all should go like heavy running back in the draft. But what do you think? Like, are they going to take a running back? Do you think they should? I think y'all should definitely go for one of these guys, like Tank. If you can, Zach Charbonnet. Like, I really think y'all should try to snag one of these dudes. Like, I think the Bills aren't missing pass catchers. I think they're missing a guy that they can say, you want to play that way? Okay. We're going to line up and get 4 to 5 yards of carry and play boring ball. I think that y'all would win a Super Bowl like that.
Okay, stop right there because that's a really good perspective, an outside perspective, because we as Bills fans, we live it, we see it. And sometimes we scoff at analysts who say the Bills need a running back. Now, they did go get Damian Harris. I think James Cook into another year can definitely have some production. I'm looking forward to him being running back one.
Damian's good.
I think he's good. I'm not like putting the game on his shoulders or anything like that. But the fact that you mentioned
like James Conner, I'm sorry, he's like James Conner.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really excited about Damian Harris. I mean, I like for what he brings to the locker room leadership. You know, he's a locker room guy. He's a good short yardage back. I think he lacks explosiveness, and those types of things. But we got two backs who could do that. So, I don't know what the Bills really think about running back. I mean, it really does seem at this point, I don't think that they would go get a Dalvin Cook who could be released, who I think the Cowboys might be interested. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we can get into that. I have opinions.
Trading the house for a Saquon Barkley or trying to go get Bijan Robinson, which if he's there when the Bills pick at 27, I'm okay with that. Yeah. But I really do think the value for the Bills they need to get a running back mid to late rounds. I like Roschon Johnson from Texas. There's some other guys, Zach Charbonnet, who might go in the 3rd, 4th round.
Yeah,
I would be okay with Tank Bigsby. I'd be okay with guys like that.
Here's my thought process though, because I don't agree with the way running backs are treated in the league. I think that's a whole nother conversation. I think contracts should be opposite. I think they should get their money up front, like old rookies used to, and do the rest of it. But I think that the Bills and teams that are already set. So if you already have what you need, like you need to go get a game-changing running back. I think you should trade. I'm talking about your defense is good. You're a team like y'all. You're on the cusp of getting the Super Bowl. You need that little bit. I think any team in that situation needs to go get a prime time running back or draft one. Like, because there's something that they do to good teams to make them, really good to that unstoppable. Like even the Bengals, when the Bengals get nasty, they handing it to Joe and P-Ron. And like, it's just 4-yard carry after 4-yard carry after 4-yard. When you watch the Cowboys, our best time was when Zeke and Pollard were popping, because that just opens up the whole game. Now, I agree with the fact you shouldn't draft a running back high if your team sucks, because then you don't really get the opportunity to see him at his greatest.
You're not getting the
You're
value,
wasting the carry.
right?
Yeah, you're wasting the carries. But if it's a team like y'all, us, the Eagles, teams that are like steps away from winning or like are getting to the Super Bowl, like you go get that primetime guy. Like, I'll tell you, I don't like Cook when we talk about that, but you go get that primetime guy. Like y'all, I think y'all should do as much as you can to go up and get a good back that's going to change. If y'all could find a way to get A-Chain, Super Bowl.
But we see Devin the Chain, he's a skill set that the Bills already have in James Cook and Naheem Hines. I mean, it's very similar. I don't think they need to get a guy like him, but I'll say this. I like the fact that you mentioned the Bills have a hole at running back. It's like a glass half filled, because I think James Cook can really be that guy. And I know people say, well, he can't run between the tackles and he can't do this, he can't do that, which I think he can do some of those things. Like he averaged 5.6 yards per carry last season. He can run between the tackles. Is that his strong suit? Absolutely not. He doesn't. His lower half is too slender for him to be a pound for pound running between the tackles kind of back, but he can do it. I really do think they need a bigger back. Like we talked about, Roshan Johnson, the kid from TCU will be
Keandre Miller. I was just about to say
right.
Keandre Miller. That dude runs like a tank.
I believe he had a visit with the Bills as well. So I think the Bills are looking for a guy like that, or you could even get a undrafted free agent. But I'm okay. Look, if the Bills were to go into this draft and they got Bijan Robinson, which I don't think he makes it. I think he's going to get drafted between 10 and 24.
Eagles, man. I think the Eagles have to. I hate the Eagles, but if I'm an Eagles brass, like you have, you have to. Sterling, like what else are you gonna? You let Miles Sanders go. You went to the Super Bowl last year. You have every other position filled. Like you're probably one of the 2 or 3 teams in the NFL draft that get to go for best player available. It doesn't matter. Like you got to. So I don't think he's gonna go past 10.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be hard pressed. I mean, I don't know, man, but he seems like the perfect fit for the Eagles. I mean, you already have a freight train running offense with Jalen Hurts at the helm. Why not add Bijan Robinson? I mean, you're going to give teams fits, but I do understand the value, the fact that they paid Jalen Hurts that big bag.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to have to, their roster's going to start to look a little differently just because you can't pay everybody.
Yeah.
As we're saying with the
more
Bills,
reason to get Bijan.
letting Tremaine Edmonds go and having to make these little costly decisions.
That's rough.
The Eagles are going to be there. I think when Justin Herbert gets his contract, they're going to be in that, kind of save a lot roster transactions. So it's going to be interesting, man. You can't have it all, but let's talk about running back some more. So it's reported that your boy, Mr. Cook, number 4 for the Vikings, Dalvin Cook, could be potentially released by the Minnesota Vikings. And from the articles that I've read, and it seems just as team needs, it seems like the Cowboys and the Dolphins could be at the top of that list. What are your thoughts as a Cowboys fan as Dalvin Cook potentially joining the Cowboys if he's released?
So as a Cowboys fan, I don't want them to go. I think it's very pointless to go get Dalvin Cook if you're the Cowboys. Like it makes zero sense because I think he's going to end up making like $12 million, and you just let Zeke go, and you didn't want to pay him, and you're paying Pollard like $10 million. So if you're the Cowboys, you either stick with Davis, who's already in the backfield as a backup, or you go draft somebody in the later rounds. Now that you mentioned, because I did not know Miami was in the mix. That's perfect. That's perfect. Again,
is it perfect because he's not going to your team, or is it perfect because
it's okay?
The fit.
Can 2 things be right at the same time? Because yes, it is because he's not going to my team. But secondly, it is because he's going to play with Mike McDaniels, and we all know that Coach Logic knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And that run game is like a San Francisco-based run game, and it goes hard. And I think that if you put Dalvin Cook in there, give Mostert less carries, because I think Mostert's still on the roster. Mostert gets less. He gets less carries, which means he's not going to get injured as much. Which means you're going to have Dalvin Cook, Mostert. You're going to have the fastest. You're going to have the fastest offense in the NFL. Period. Like you're going to have Dalvin Cook, Mostert. And you already did. So you already had the fastest offense. So you just got faster. So I think that Miami, it's well all around. And they could paying him. It's justified paying him $12 million in Miami when you know the offense that they're going to run is going to open up gaping holes for running backs. And Dalvin Cook, even though he's slowing down, he'll still produce at a high rate, and he'll open up the field for a deadly threat like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I like Dalvin Cook's game, man. I think he's averaged like 4.7 yards per carry for his career and a gang of touchdowns, like 47 touchdowns. I mean, look, man, that I just think the value when it comes to, and this is the problem, when you look at a guy like Dalvin Cook and he's he's been in the league for 6 seasons.
Yeah.
It starts to wear on him. And his production is still high, but how long do you have of production like that? I mean, that's a
He's a
lot.
product of what we were saying. Going to get a running back when your team's not good, and or the Vikings weren't really up there when they went and got him. So like they had to draft him high. So like I think it's a product of getting a running back on a team that's not very good, and you wasted his best carries. And this is what happens. But he still has enough in his tank to go to another good team and produce, I think.
Yeah. I think he does.
The running backs just have a bad deal, man. It's just
Right.
messed up.
Yeah, it is, man. But again, they have a shelf life, and I understand why teams don't want to pay running backs. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I totally get it, and I'm fine with it. I just
I'm fine with
I'm
it.
fine with it. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But as far as the Bills getting Dalvin Cook, I mean, I don't think they need it, to be honest. I love Dalvin Cook's game. I just want to see James Cook get it in. Like let him do his thing and see what he's
Oh,
got.
okay. So you see how I was talking about if Dalvin Cook goes and plays with Mostert? I think without the injury part, but I think that you get to use Cook in special situations, and I think that he becomes even more valuable if you do get an every down back and you're able to slot him in, a la how the Cowboys started with Tony Pollard. Like I think that Cook has that ability, but I think you should get. Man, I think the Bills would just be really awesome with a really good running back. Just
They would be. I mean, I'm telling you, they definitely would be. I mean, it would be nice for as a Bills fan to go into games to be like, we don't have to rely on Josh Allen to do everything. Like we could just hand it off to whoever, James Cook, Dalvin Cook, Jesus, and they just gonna get it in. They gonna get it done, right?
Well, I mean, and having a quarterback like Josh Allen also means like the same kind of dynamic that we talk about in Miami, or the same dynamic that we want to talk about with Jalen Hurts. You have that same dynamic with Josh Allen, and if you put another running back there, that gives you three guys in the backfield possibly that you can't deal with, and it also gives no one can cover Stephon Diggs one-on-one. Y'all have y'all's reservations about Gabriel, and it's deserved. But you do have a lot of weapons. Now we could talk about what y'all gonna do in the draft at receiver, but I do think adding another weapon in the backfield more so than weapons on the outside is what the Bills need, because I think Josh Allen is one of those guys that can like put the ball in places where he can make mediocre guys look better than they are.
Right. And the fact that, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I do feel like when guys play with Josh Allen, they end up having their best year statistically. That is proven statistically. And I think, I'm not saying Gabe Davis, he's not good. I feel like Gabe has some traits that he brings to the table that are valuable. But I think, with the ability of Josh Allen, the way he can make plays and so forth, I think that inflates Gabe Davis's value just a tad. And there's some deficiencies in his game and things that we would like him to do better. But I think the Cowboys are in a similar situation. You have CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
You got a guy that is considered an underperformer, right?
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
guy from Colorado State, Michael Gallup.
I don't think we here now. That's a good perspective from outside. We here don't really feel that he's underperformed. We feel that he came back from injury and he's not quite himself, and he was asked to do a little bit more than what he was capable to do coming off of that injury.
Okay.
I think he is getting a lot of leeway here because he's a very good receiver. He's just not he's not the type of, I don't want to call him, like, I don't want to say he's not a number two, but he's not. You know what I'm saying? He's just another good receiver to have on the team.
It's the same thing we say about Gabe Davis here.
I think it's the scheme, though. Even like with us, I don't know how you feel about the Bills, but I think with the Cowboys, it's also the scheme. Because like I say, he's not a good receiver when he's not my bad. He's not a number two receiver when the Cowboys don't have a speedy three guy. That's what it is, because our system is predicated off a slot receiver. That's why we got Cooks. A slot receiver able to stretch the field, which opens up the middle of the field so he can do those intermediate routes. And he didn't have that last year. And before this, we had two guys that were spacing out the field, and so he was able to look a lot better.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. I think again, the case of these two wide receivers are extremely similar. We feel like here Gabe Davis he can stretch the field vertically, right? He can stack a DB and he can, cause pain on the defense, you know, vertically, catching the ball down the field. But when it comes to the short intermediate routes, he's not a separator, so you're not going to expect him to run around, break off the stem, and then, just catch a ball. And then on top of that, so when he does get separation, I feel like his contested catch rate needs to improve and his overall catch rate in general needs to improve. Now, people can say, well, it's just because they throw the ball down the field to him all the time. And it's not necessarily the case. I feel like he needs to do a better job of catching the football in general.
Yeah.
He has one of the most unorthodox styles of catching the football. I mean, it really looks awkward. And he's made a lot of money and got to where he is today because with that. So I don't think he's going to change that anytime soon. But Michael Gallup's a guy. He's not a guy that's going to stretch the field deep. I feel like he has value. Short intermediate as a possession receiver. He definitely needs a number one wide receiver to kind of take pressure off of him. So the fact that you guys went and added Brandon Cooks, who's going to be able to stretch the field. I mean, Brandon Cooks gives you efficiency at each level.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's going to benefit CeeDee Lamb more than anything.
Well, I think he's going to benefit everybody because he does give us, exceptional wide receiver play. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Sorry, buddy. He does give you exceptional wide receiver play at all these different levels, but at the same time, when just watching the Cowboys, and I don't know how the Bills offense really works, but the Cowboys have kind of like a classic. And this, I know Kellen Moore's gone, but feel me, because it's gonna kind of be the same. Like they have an offense that's based off of you have a slot guy that I said this before, but you have a slot guy that spreads it open deep, and he's got to be really good at that. Cedric Wilson was really good at it. Even if he doesn't get the ball, he's got to stretch the field to where the defense thinks he might get it. You know what I'm saying? And what that does is that opens it up for your true number one CD, because CD is our quote unquote Chris Carter type of receiver. You know what I'm saying? He's running intermediate routes. He's running on the sidelines. He's not necessarily going deep. He just has really good hands. So you're just trying to get him open on different routes, posts, you know what I'm saying, in routes, out routes.
Mm-hmm.
And then a guy like Michael Gallup is at his best when he can have those two guys freeing up each other, and everything else he's good at. Third downs, because he's gonna get the third corner. You know what I'm saying? And as long like this year, he didn't get the third corner. He got the second corner. And the second corner was able to do a pretty good job on him. He gets the third corner. Because you're not putting your third corner on Brandon Cooks. Can we agree?
Right.
Like that's a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna burn that man. So like he's gonna get the attention of the third corner, and then once he does that, Gallup will look better. But that's not me poo-pooing on his skill. I think that's just like when you build a team, you have certain guys like Gabriel, like you said, he's running the routes he should. He's doing what he needs to. You need to catch it. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to catch it. Like that's the bottom line is you need to catch it. And if you're not catching it, then you need to replace the guy.
Yeah, Gabe is coming into his last season with the Bills. I don't know if they're going to resign him from Bills brass. It sounds like they love Gabe Davis. I don't know what the cost is going to be. Maybe $15 million season, probably. It depends. I think a lot of it depends on what he does this year. So
I don't know if you do. Like,
I mean, I don't.
No. The reason why I said it is because just kind of like. Not as far as money wise, but as far as usage of receivers, if you draft a receiver, if he's not the number one, you know what I'm saying? If he's not your quote unquote Justin Jefferson, then why pay him another contract? You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't show like the Cowboys with Gallup, I like that he's on the team, but is he necessarily needed? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't think he is. I think he has a skill set that's replaceable.
Yeah, all receivers do, especially by rookies. You know what I'm saying? That look like they could be stars. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Let's talk about these wide receivers this year. Cool. So I'm gonna give you a name, and you tell me if you think that they are first round worthy. Okay. I'm going to give you a name of a receiver. You tell me do you think that they are not first round grade, but do you think they will be taken in the first round? You ready for this?
Don't give me no dude that I ain't never heard of. Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
He played
Okay.
at Saginaw
All right.
State.
We'll start with a little something easy. Kayshon Boutte. Now, it's a guy that before the season,
Ooh.
he was one of the guys that was pegged to be a first round guy. Little issues at LSU, production really not there. And he really didn't do nothing this year. So what do you think?
Okay. Yes, he's first round worthy.
You think he's first round worthy?
Okay, wait. Now, if I understand your rules correctly, this is a guy that I think will play at that level, or a guy I would choose or a guy that will get chosen there.
So a guy that you think will get chosen in the first round.
No. Okay, my bad. I had it backwards. Okay, no. I think that he has first round talent, but I do think he'll get drafted in like the third because he did have a lackluster season. But whoever gets him in the third, you getting NFL star. NFL star.
You think he's the next LSU wide receiver star?
Yes.
I like him a lot, and I would be interested in taking him day 2, day 3.
That's a good one.
I think he'd be there. What about Marvin Mims? Is he a first round? Okay, so what do you think about Marvin Mims?
I think that Marvin Mims is going to be a great slot receiver, a la Sterling Shepard. And now we don't know. He didn't have injury problems. I mean, Sterling didn't really either. But when Sterling is healthy, then he plays really well. They both went to the same school. I watched a lot of Marvin Mims. He was Mr. Football in Texas. I don't know why Texas didn't get him, but we did. Thank you. No, I see the Cowboys. They see the Cowboys. They say that the Cowboys want to take him in the third. I'd like it. I think that he's going to be a really good NFL receiver. Like I said, maybe not like a superstar, but I think he's going to be a really good slot receiver. But it's all dependent on the system he gets drafted in. Okay. I think that's the thing. But he's not going to be first. He's going to be like what round 3 is? What, day 2?
Yes, I feel like he's a day 2 guy. But I feel like his skill set could very well be a round 1. I don't think he's going to get selected in round 1, but I think he's a guy that we're not talking about enough.
Oh, go ahead.
Not that we're not talking about enough, but he is a guy, is a 3-level threat. Like he can get it deep, he can get it short, intermediate, and he's good. I think
he's a football player.
If he was, he stands at 5'11". I feel like if he was 6 foot, 6'1", I think he probably would be a first round wide receiver.
He plays big though. I've watched a lot.
Play big.
I've watched a lot of him. I think I've probably watched every game he's played at Oklahoma, just because I'm a fan. So, but he plays a lot bigger. I know people hate the poor man's whatever, but he is like a poor man's Wilson. Was Garrett Wilson? He's kind of like a poor man's Garrett Wilson, if you will.
Jalen Hyatt.
40 time disappointed me, but film speaks louder than the combine. He's not going to go in the first round because of the 40 time in the combine, but he is going to be a special talent when it comes to just burning people deep in the NFL. I think that he's got a place in this league for many years, as long as his speed lasts. But I think his combine 40 is it happens, bro. Like Devin Hester's 40 time in the combine, I don't believe was the fastest ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Jalen Hyatt doesn't have first round ability to me, but he has a trait which is that speed that it's hard to pass up. I feel like he's a guy that had too many free releases, man. Like every time you watch Jalen Hyatt, they're in trips and double stack and he's just running free. And I just don't understand why, DBs and teams really didn't try to get a hand on him. And the offense that they used him in at University of Tennessee was just kind of a big-time air raid. But he got a lot of free releases, and I think a guy like that, you give a lot of free releases. Think of a guy like Will Fuller is who I think Jalen Hyatt kind of.
That's a great one. That is a great one. But I was just gonna ask you too. I was trying to think of some receivers that got a lot of free releases in the league too. It's like you can move them around. You know what I'm saying? Like so you can keep them in motion and they take care of that. Yeah.
I mean, Cooper Kupp is a guy that is always on the move pre-snap, right? And he's a slot guy. But the way you use and deploy these receivers matters. So, but I don't, with those free releases, I just don't have enough to go off of in terms of like the type and style of routes he runs. He's not a great route runner.
At all.
Yeah, and I think he's going to have issues at the next level. But if you have him in an offense where he's like the third or fourth option, kind of like a Gabe Davis,
Yeah.
I think you can get the most production out of him. So the Bills could be. I mean, I think
That's
Jalen
a
Hyatt
really good one.
is a day two guy all the way.
That before you get to the next guy, that's a really good one for the Bills, Sterling. I like that one, bro, because I was just thinking Jalen Hyatt's a guy that you tell, hey, bro, go run. Hit your head on the goalpost and go run. And y'all have the quarterback that can launch it. To me, what sealed it for me that makes me think he'll be a good player, Alabama tape, bro. Every receiver that has gone off on Alabama in the past, probably 6-7 years has been a good receiver. If you go look at all the receivers that had great games, I think the reason why I liked Michael Gallup coming out of college was I saw his Colorado versus Alabama tape, and I was like, who is the guy from Colorado State that is dogging Alabama's DBs? Like, this is ridiculous. And when I watched Tennessee versus Alabama, I said, no, he's NFL speed ready. Like, he's just running by these guys that are going to be in the league. So, like, he's gonna run by them again. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So yeah, but he's not a first round talent, but great talent though.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna speed it up here. So I'm gonna give you Zay Flowers next. First round.
Okay. Yes, most definitely.
Okay. I think he's a guy that definitely is probably going to go in the first round. I think a team is going to take him. You know, he might be. There's rumors that he could be the first receiver.
I have a player comparison for him, bro. I did last week. Chris Chambers and Emmanuel Sanders.
Okay, Chris Chambers. Yeah, Chris Chambers was like 5'9", 5'10". Like Zay Flowers, but Chris Chambers played really big. He played bigger than Zay Flowers even, but Zay Flowers has more shiftiness to his game. I think he's a better route runner than Chris Chambers, but I haven't heard that name in a long time, man.
Well, I said I was like for the old school people, you know what I'm saying, Chris Chambers, but for the newer, but when you really watch both of them, he really does remind me of Emmanuel Sanders. Like, he really does. Like he's got, like you said, the shiftiness. Him and Emmanuel Sanders have this weird ability that some guys have, but they really have an ability. They look faster once they stop and go than they do even running full speed down the field, which they're really fast that way. But when they make a move and that split second where both people are stopped, their explosion out of that is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I agree. But that's a really good comp you got there. What about Jordan Addison? First round ability? I think this is a guy. I think Jordan Addison is going to go in the second round. Every single draft year, we think, oh, yeah, this guy's going in the first round. All of a sudden, boom, here we go. They're in the second round. What do you think of Jordan Addison?
I thought I had a comp for him too, but I think he goes first. I agree with you, though. I think he's second. Most people, Russell, you hate Jordan Addison. I'm like, I don't hate him. He, to me, like, I don't, bro, he's really good. And I know he won the Biletnikoff and everything like that, but to me, he's like the equivalent of a system quarterback. And so, like to the T, but at receiver. Like, if you don't do exactly what Jordan Addison is good at, I mean, exactly, I don't know if the product that you get is going to be satisfactory. Now, if you want to do everything in your offense that he does, you know, you'll turn out pretty good, but he scares me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Jackson Smith and Jigba, we know is first round. Okay. Yes. But what about Quentin Johnston?
I truly believe, I think the Quentin Johnston slander should stop. Like, it needs to stop. Like, I think that when people talk about the body catching and people talk about the lack of aggression, like, the dude played for a team that played for the national championship, and whenever he was called on, he did a heck of a job. Sorry. But I think that he is a first round grade. Of course, we know he is. I think that I think he's going to be the next superstar receiver in the league. One of them. I think a couple of these guys.
So that's lofty praise for Quentin Johnston.
Dude, he's huge. Pause. He's huge.
I mean, I like his game. I think, even though he's 6'2" and a quarter or whatever, he still plays like 6'4",
Yeah.
40-inch vertical. There's this thing where just because he wasn't asked to do it doesn't mean he can't do it. People knocked DK Metcalf's route running ability
Thank you.
when he was coming out. Doesn't mean that Quentin Johnson can't get it done or he can't run precise routes. I think his route running is a little choppy, but I think it can improve. I mean, you got to consider the offense he played in. At least we know with Quentin Johnson that he's a guy that could beat press man coverage, unlike a Jalen Hyatt. You could put Quentin Johnson on the outside and be like, you're just gonna figure it out, right?
And he's got that speed that's like, oh, he fast. Like he's honestly, isn't David Boston about that size? Like he's deceptively fast, but I'm just saying his body type is one. He's a big human. Like you said, you're gonna have trouble jamming him. His speed is that I don't care what he runs his 40 in. I've seen him run by all DBs of all 40 times. Like he's getting by people. Now the body catching, I think that people talk about that, but I also say like look who his quarterback was. No shade, Duggan, Duggan. My bad. No shade to Duggan, but I mean, his quarterback wasn't the most accurate. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you got to do what you got to do. Get open how you can. Catch the ball. I just think he's a matchup nightmare, no matter where you draft him. Any team is lucky to have him.
Yeah, no, I think so, too. So, as we conclude, as we get to
Can I give you one more? I'm sorry. I know I'm not supposed to, but can I give you one more?
Go ahead.
Because I didn't even get to tell you this one last week.
What's
to everybody watching, I know it's the first time with Sports Plug Russ. Rashee Rice is Keenan Allen.
Stop.
I want to be the first person to say that. And I knew that this would be a great place to say it. And you might think I'm crazy. Go look at the tape. That man is Keenan Allen.
Okay. Hey, we'll see. I like Rashee Rice.
I love him.
Keenan Allen, that's lofty praise, though.
I'm telling you, go look at Rashee Rice. It's crazy, the similarities. It's crazy. Size, the same ability that they're not really fast, but they stay open, but they're also fast enough to get open deep. The aggressiveness at the point of attack, man, it's like his little twin. It's ridiculous, and it sounds crazy, but if you watch them both, you'll be like, "Whoa!" Like that is similar, very similar. It's crazy.
All right, so I'm gonna put you on the hot seat. Okay.
Oh God, here we go.
You're about to go in the hot seat. So I have a little. You're gonna draft for the Dallas Cowboys
right now.
Right now, okay. So every week, if I have a guest on, or even if it's just me here on the show, I always do a mock draft. Okay. And you're gonna draft for the Cowboys. I'm gonna draft for the Bills. And can you now see my screen?
Let me see, because we're on a little bit of a delay. So let me see if it pops up.
It should pop up here in a second.
Okay, there it goes. It popped up.
Okay, I'm gonna start this draft. You're on the clock. You're picking right before the Bills. Okay, so here are your options. Okay, I'm gonna give you a few guys, and then you tell me who you want.
Okay.
Now, this is wild, but it was kind of the same thing last week. So Bijan Robinson is here.
Okay.
Quentin Johnson is here.
Okay.
Jackson Smith and Jigba is here, and Michael Mayer is here at 27 or 26.
Ooh. All of them are there?
For the Dallas Cowboys in this scenario, those players are there.
Oh, man. Okay. Because you have to, because of the talent level of the player, you have to pick Bijan Robinson if he's available.
Okay, so you're the Cowboys, and you're going with Bijan Robinson.
Yes.
Okay? All right, the Bills are on the clock. And if the Bills are on the clock and Jackson Smith and Jigba is there, I got to take Jackson Smith and Jigba.
You have to.
You're on the clock again at pick in the second round, pick 59, right before the Bills. You have your choice of, let's see, Clark Phillips III.
Who? I'm sorry. Who's the tight end?
Cornerback. Tight ends, I'll tell you. Let's see. Tight ends are here. There are 19 available. Sam Laporta, Tucker Kraft, Davis Allen, and Zach Kuntz.
Okay, we can't reach for a tight end. We can't reach. Okay, so who are the
Okay.
top ones? Okay, I just all right. So who are the
All right.
top ones now that my choice is gone?
So for you guys, you have your choice of Deontay Banks, cornerback, Drew Sanders, Clark Phillips III, Antonio Johnson, who is a safety from Texas A&M, Jordan Battle, also a safety, Jack Campbell.
Oh,
Who are you picking?
I'm gonna have to go with the DB. My bad, the first DB.
Deontay Banks.
Yeah, Deontay Banks. And it's just because at this point, if I've already picked the best available in the last round, I don't want to reach for a tight end because I do think there's going to be one next
Okay.
round, and so I'm gonna go ahead and get another DB.
All right.
Because I mean, I think the Cowboys could always use another DB. Everybody
That's
could always
fair.
use another DB.
All right, so the Bills are on the clock now, and the Bills have their choice of Jack Campbell and Drew Sanders. I think for the Bills in round 2, I think linebacker is paramount. And if I had to pick between right now today, Drew Sanders or Jack Campbell, I'm gonna go Drew Sanders just because I think he's more versatile. Now, I do feel like Jack Campbell is a better fit schematically, but he can only do he's pegged to do a certain thing. I like Drew Sanders' versatility, so I'm going to go Drew Sanders in this draft for the Bills' second round pick. So you're on the clock again at pick 91. Okay, so you got your cornerback, you got your running back.
Okay.
What are the needs of the Cowboys? There's a bunch of linebackers on the list here. You got Dan Henley, Henry To'oTo'o.
I'm not with the.
Okay,
I'm not with
linebacker.
Yeah, I'm not with that thought process because that's if I was, I would have picked Drew. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying because you don't pick Drew because you already got a linebacking core. We have a good linebacking core. I'm thinking the Cowboys need offensive linemen, or you got offensive lineman, wide receiver, tight end. Those three are the positions I'd look at.
Let's look at tight end for you guys. Tucker Kraft, Davis Allen, and Zach Kuntz are your tight ends here. Luke Schoonmaker is also available at tight end, so you think about that. At wide receiver right now, Keyshawn Boutte and Michael Wilson are there. Tank Dell is also available in the third round, so you could think about that. And then we could go look at interior offensive line. Your options are Henry Benavalu, Emil Okier Jr., and Andrew Voorhees, who tore his ACL, but I think he's a good interior offensive lineman.
We're going Tucker Kraft.
You're going Tucker Kraft.
I like him. You know I like him from before. I like Tucker. I'm surprised he's here. So yeah, Tucker Kraft all the way.
Hey, this is how it's shaking out today. So you took Tucker Kraft for the Bills. I'm gonna go. So we got our linebacker, we got our wide receiver. I'm feeling really good right now. And if I'm if I'm Brandon Beane, I want to look at what is there on the interior offensive line. Take a look there, see if I can find. You know what? I'm gonna go Andrew Voorhees here. Nice. I feel like you can rehab him, and you're getting a day 2 guy for next year. That's what I feel like. So we're going to stash Andrew Voorhees here. So we got an interior offensive lineman. Cowboys are on the clock in the 4th round.
Okay.
You guys, right now, what are your needs? What do you want me to pull up for you?
So I'm looking at, we got my running back, we got my tight end, we got the DB. So now we're just picking, we're trying to get some supreme talent in skill position. So let me see what let me actually hear the offensive line because I think we might be able to get one.
Okay, so let's talk tackle. You need a guard.
Yeah.
I know you need a guard because we got Connor McGovern. So here are your tackles. You got Earl Bostic Jr., Asim Richards, Nick Saliveri. I don't feel like the Jackson Kirkland. I don't feel like the value is here.
No. What's the? I'm thinking both of them may not have the value there, but what is the interior?
Okay, so you got Alex Forsyth, Curtis McClendon, Jarrett Patterson will be a good pick for you guys. I like Juice Scruggs a lot too from Penn State as an option, but yeah, it's kind of so. What's happened is that the offensive line tackles and interior players have been selected. So you guys,
Yeah.
you got 27 seconds.
And I'm not into reaching to everybody. I don't know. I literally will let offensive linemen fall. We'll find a guy.
Okay.
So at this point, what are our receivers?
Let me pause it so you don't run out of time here. Your receivers right now, that I think would be, I think Jaden Reed is still here, and Jonathan Mingo and Charlie Jones. Those
Boom.
are
Mingo's from Ole Miss, correct?
okay. That's a yes. That's
Yeah,
a really good pick.
him. Yeah.
Okay, so you take Jonathan Mingo. Let me unpause it. Give you Jonathan Mingo. I think that's your replacement for what's his name? Colorado State guy.
A Gallup.
Yeah, I think he's a Michael Gallup replacement. You can move
I
off
think
from
he's
Michael Gallup.
I think he's that too. But I also think at this point in the draft, when you look, in my opinion, I think that if you, like you said, the offensive linemen have dwindled, you're not going to reach for those. I think you just try to stockpile as much superior talent that you can. So just for those want to know my thinking. Yeah, Mingo is the guy. I'm trying to get as many players that make you say, dang, like they got, whoa, they're loaded at that position.
So I'm the Bills. I'm going to go edge here for the Bills, and I'm going to go. I could go either Nick Herbig or Mike Morris from Michigan. I like Nick Herbig. I think he's probably a better fit, seeing that the Bills already have Gregory Rousseau. I'm going to take Nick Herbig here from Wisconsin, and I'm on the clock again with the on the 5th round. So we got a defensive end for the Bills. I'll probably go. Let me look at the running backs here. I think this is a sweet spot for running backs, or I might go corner. Devin Achane, Tucker. I wouldn't touch. Zach Evans. Kendre Miller is here.
Oh,
so I'm gonna take Kendre.
I will say there is no Zach Evans slander allowed, but that's a whole nother. I love that kid, and I think that he's a great addition to any team.
Right, I think he's dope. You're on the clock now, so you're a 5th round pick.
Okay.
You've done a really good job so far, but you still got a little ways to go. So how are you gonna add a sweet spot to your roster?
What's the edge? What are the edge rushers looking like?
Let's look at edge. So right now, guys that I think could be Cowboy fits: Isaiah McGuire from Missouri, Robert Bill Jr., Georgia, Iku Leota, Auburn. And then I would say for the Cowboys, just from my lens, Valami Fehoko, San Jose State.
It's either. Let me see. I'm trying to. I don't think that I see people picking safeties for the Cowboys. I think we need a safety.
You need a safety? I could look at safety.
No, I don't think. I was just saying I don't think we need a safety. I see the pick of safety for the Cowboys. I really would like an edge. I like the kid from Auburn. Okay. I actually remember some of it. I'll go him because, and here's my thought process. I want to have, like I said, superior talent, but I want to get guys that are known to pass, rush the passer, and with the pass rush the Cowboys already have, let's just keep them churning them in and out. Get guys rest, and let's just keep sending waves and waves and waves in.
All right, so I'm back on the clock for the Bills. I'm gonna look at corner here and see if there's anything that kind of gets me excited, and I don't really see anything for corner that gets me excited, but let's look at safety. I want to look at safety. The Bills they need a safety. So if I were to pick a safety right now for the Bills, I would go with man, that's tough. I'd have to go with Jair Brown from Penn State. I think
that's a nice. Who all is available? I was just out of curiosity.
Daniel Scott, California, DeMarco Helms from Alabama, Christian Young, and Rashad Torrance. Rashad Torrance, I like his game
Where
too.
was he?
And Chamari Connor from Virginia Tech. So those are the
safeties. Where was Torrance from?
Florida.
Here's my train of thought when it comes to getting a safety, and this you may be like, damn, like that's kind of biased, but I think you get your safeties from the SEC, the Big 12, mainly, Yeah, I'll say SEC, Big 12. But if you have Florida, Alabama, there's some others. Penn State's kind of one. But if Florida and Alabama have a safety available, take him. He's going to know the position.
So we're drafting the helmet, huh? Scouting the helmet.
But okay, in some cases, especially late in rounds, because in late rounds, you're drafting guys that more than likely were really good in college. You know what I'm saying? They just didn't test out as well as they needed to for the league. But I believe in that. I believe that the helmet matters when certain regimes are in charge. And if I see a 5-year stint or a 3 to 4 year stint where this school is just producing a certain position, and it's like, yo, they can play it. Like when you get a
right,
fifth
you know
round
they're
guy,
going to be ready.
Yeah, you want a guy that can do the job. And I think that guys from Alabama, Florida, Oklahoma, we're not giving Texas any love.
They don't need it.
I miss Georgia and Georgia, like teams like that, even though their guys may not go first round, they're gonna do the job. They're gonna know how to do the job.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, so I think this might be your last pick here. Who you want? So that's let's see. What do you need? You need a safety? What you need?
You know who I'm gonna go get? And I think people are gonna be like, he's not there. I hope he's here. I'm gonna get Toon. I've seen a lot of Toon. Was it Clayton, the quarterback from Houston? I've seen a lot of that, and I'm actually down with it. Like I'm with it. I don't know if he's gonna be available in the 7th. Most people have him in the 6th.
Sean Clifford, Aiden O'Connell, Adrian Martinez. He is not here.
Oh. He's gone. I knew I should have got him.
You can get you a Dorian Thompson-Robinson or a Stetson.
Oh, wait. Dorian Thompson-Robinson's available in the 3rd?
Yes, he is.
Hey, I was a fan of his high school. I'll go with Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
All right,
We'll take a flyer.
You're going to take a flyer.
Yeah, we'll take a flyer. We'll take a flyer. I told you I was not going to pick an offensive lineman late. We're going to find a vet.
Okay, so you're back on the clock in the 7th round. The Bills are done. So you want to go offensive line?
Yeah. I'm gonna take best available. I think I'm gonna go.
Let's look at tackle.
I was gonna take tackle. I was gonna say tackle because that's we need tackle more.
Let's see what you guys got for tackle. That I mean, you got your pick of the litter here. I mean, these are upside guys. Like these are guys that you're just gonna have to take a swing on, man. So I think guys that could fit for you are Nick Broker, Mark Evans, Connor Galvin, Jalen Thomas. Unless you see somebody here that you feel.
Wait, Jalen. Okay, my bad, people. Jalen Thomas, where was he?
That's SMU.
Okay, I live. Okay, for those that don't know, of course you know, but I do live in Dallas. So yeah, I'm gonna take the home product. Late draft pick. Take the home product, give him a shot. If he doesn't work out, it's not really going to matter because he's the 7th round pick.
Okay.
If he does, so you win.
I mean, yeah. I mean, at least you can get him in and see, get him in camp and see what he can do. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, yeah, I really hate that Bijan was available because that threw me off because I'm all about picking. Like, if we got a guy like that, I pick. So I just threw out every other, like. Because there's a tackle for Tennessee that I think is really good. The Cowboys might go after, but
no, okay. So we're gonna review your selections.
What grade did I get?
They don't give you a grade.
Oh, okay.
But you got Bijan Robinson at 27. You got Deonte Banks, cornerback, which is great. Tucker Kraft, great. Jonathan Mingo, great. You got Iku Leota, Auburn as an edge rusher. Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Jalen Thomas. That's a damn good draft.
I can work with that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
and like I said, if I'm the GM, I'm going in free agency and I'm just going to try to find some offensive linemen, try to make it happen. We don't have a bad line, so that's why I would never reach. But I really am like the Mingo pick would be awesome in real life. Yeah, I mean the Bijan one would too, but the Mingo one, I would love it.
Yeah, the Bills. I think if the Bills were to somehow come out with this haul. That would be great. Jackson Smith and Jigba, when you don't have to trade up for him, is phenomenal. And then you get Drew Sanders in the 2nd round, so that you're getting like 2 first-rounders back to back.
Yeah, he's gonna be a star.
Yeah, I think so. And Andrew Voorhees is a guy that you're gonna stash him. He's going to rehab his ACL that he tore at his pro day. You get a solid edge rusher in Nick Herbig in the 4th round. Kendre Miller is a guy that I think
That's a
he's a
good one.
big-bodied running back. I think he can spell Damian Harris, and then Jair Brown is the developmental safety who has big-time game experience. So Jair Brown. So for the Bills, I think that would be a haul as well. So 1 week away from the draft, man.
See me difference both. What'd you say? I'm sorry, you cut out for a second.
No, I was saying that would be a haul for both of these squads.
I would think draft good, but see,
I can't. You're on a delay or something.
Oh, I think I gotta wait for the thing to.
That's okay. So
is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. So,
all right, go ahead.
What were you saying?
It's amazing that, like, when you see 2 good drafts like that, they are, but like you can see, I'm gonna make sure that this team is trying to win right now. But you also were trying to win. Didn't do much of the line setting up in the future, or anything like quote unquote able. I went and got like, this is talent. Let's go get it done. And you were more stable, but both are really good. Jackson Smith and Jigma and Drew Sanders, that's really good.
Yeah, no, I think it's dope, man. I think it's dope. So before we go, why don't you tell our listeners where they can find you and your work, and take a minute to tell us what you got going on.
Oh, well, on there are RL Climb SP. You can find it on Instagram. On TikTok, it's Sports Plug Russ. And you can also find what I'm as well. But basically, Sports Plug is what they call it. It's always get plugged into your team. So as you can see here, I love my Cowboys, but I like talking about all the teams, in every sport. So you can find me on those programs. You can find me and Sterling every Wednesday night on YouTube Live at 8 o'clock Central Time on YouTube Live on the Sports Sushi.
And that's all, folks. You have been listening to the Intentional Grounding Podcast, Vidcast on the Buffalo Rumblings Vidcast feed. We are 1 week away from the NFL Draft, and we appreciate everyone who has listened tonight. With that being said, I'm going to give you a Go Bills, and we out of here.